some sort of advertisement? Oh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Everyone here and everyone joining us online today, we are so glad you're here. I am Reverend Karen LeBlanc. I minister to this congregation as we minister to each other. We are a beloved community creating fun and coolness here at First Unitarian in New Bedford. We believe in practicing and promoting the UU values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity in our congregation, and that those values always spring from the love at the center that guides us all. We are people of purpose in this church. We work to make sure everyone feels valued and included in this meeting house, regardless of race, color, nationality, age, physical or mental abilities, gender identity, economic status, how you believe, or who you love. If what you hear today resonates with you, we hope you'll consider becoming part of this way cool family of seekers and keepers of this long dream. Now, First Unitarian in New Bedford recognizes that the land that we inhabit and enjoy sits on the unceded ancestral land of the Wampanoag. We give respect to the people of the First Light and their ancestors, and we honor them in our church. Quick couple of housekeeping things. If you are new here and you want more information, sign this blue card and put it into the offertory. That'll put you on our newsletter list, so you can keep on top of what's going on. And please, if you haven't visited our website in a while, do so. Jessica has done a phenomenal job keeping it updated, and if you have any questions about anything, click on that calendar button, and you can see everything that is happening here for the whole month. Coffee hour. We will have coffee hour after the service right through that door. Please come on and walk the Labyrinth after service today, because this is the 25th anniversary of the dedication of our Labyrinth. We are live streaming as usual, so please be aware of that if you come up to speak. And if you will now put your phones in worship mode, we will begin by lighting our chalice. Where is our chalice chancellor? Brody. Here he comes. All right. Thanks, Brody. So today we're going to light two chalices. We'll light our regular chalice. Then I'm going to have him light this small chalice for our church ancestors over here. Got it? Thanks, Brody. The chalice lighting words are from Orville Dewey, who's that guy over there in the corner, the one on the stand, not inside the little alcove. How many a knot of mystery and misunderstanding would be untied by one word spoken in simple and confiding truth of heart? How many a solitary place would be made glad if love were there? And how many a dark dwelling would be filled with light? A glorious candle lighting from one of our church ancestors. Now, I forgot to have people get a little focus first. So if you are willing to get up, stand up. If you don't have to, we're just going to take a few centering breaths. Now let's give ourselves a little stretchity stretch as we breathe in and breathe out. Breathe it out. And breathe in. Oh, I like that part. And one more. And then when we come down, I'm going to do cactus arms like this. Push your heart way out where it needs to go. And with our hands on our hearts, giving ourselves some love and spreading that love out into the community, because God knows we need it. All right, sit down. Don't you feel better? That always makes me feel better. Our opening words are also from that Orville Dewey guy over there. The dead carry our thoughts to another and nobler existence. They teach us and especially by all the strange and seemingly untoward circumstances of their departure from this life, that they and we shall live in a future state forever. Now, we have our first hymn, which is number 8. Number 8 in your hymnal. Please rise as you are willing and able and sing with us.
Spirit, Father, Spirit, where are you? In the sky song, in the forest sounds your cry. What to give you, what to call you, what am I? Many drops are in the ocean deep and wide. Sunlight bounces off, then ripples to the sky. What's to give you, what's to call you, what am I? I am empty, time flies from me, what is time? Dreams eternal, fears infernal haunt my heart. What to give you, what to call you, oh my God. Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, take our hearts. Take our breath and let our voices sing our parts. Take our hands and let us work to shape our heart.
Please take the time to greet one another. You know Rochelle's gonna go see that baby. And now, while we're all still standing, let's read our covenant that's printed in our order of service. We come together as a religious community, upholding freedom of conscience, right relationship, and the inherent worth of all people. We value our diversity and pledge to care for one another in the spirit of compassion, to speak and listen to each other with respect, and to promote justice and kindness in the world. Now we'll have Miss Yasmin come and read us a story.
Good morning, everyone. Well, actually, I should say good morning, my saints, because that's what this is. Welcome all you saints. This is from the UUA. And I think at this point in the climate of the era, we have to lock in, as the high schoolers say. You gotta lock in, Mrs. Vincent. And I say, okay, I'm locked in. Because we need to know that we have the strength for the turbulence that's coming. So welcome all you saints. Yes, you are all saints. For it is not by perfection that we are sainted, rather it is by our actions. It is not by perfection that we are sainted, but it is by our presence. It is by our giving. It is by our living. It is not perfection that we are sainted, but it is by gathering together in love to become nurturing, welcoming, healing, and a faithful worshiping community. So welcome. As we gather here on this Sunday, let's call into our minds and hearts of all those saints who have blessed us. Now, we have those family saints, the spouses, the partners, the mothers, the fathers, the grandparents, great-grandparents, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, and cousins, saints who have modeled living for us and who stay with us through the days and years and all times of need and joy. So we give thanks to those family members and those friend saints, because sometimes family and friend hand in hand, childhood and adulthood, young and not so young, tea time, coffee time, meal time, the ones who listen and cry with us. So we give thanks to those people. The work saints, you know those, the friends, the co-workers, the bosses, the employees, the fellow travelers, those mentors and teachers who are with us when goals are hard to name and when trying to work with dignity and integrity seems so very hard to do. We give thanks. And then there's us, the community, those who serve, those elected and to be elected, those educators, manufacturers, and nurturers whose presence make our daily life easier and more pleasant. And for those who toil and strive and bring a vision of justice, equality, and peace to our world, we give thanks. And then the unnamed and the unknown, those who overcome obstacles and teach us how to overcome and be present and remind us that we're called to do more than we ever thought possible. Those who bear burdens and let us assist them in bearing of those burdens, those who give willingly and unselfishly, and those who demonstrate strength, courage, and wisdom in the face of pain and tragedy. We give those thanks, the unnamed, the unknown. So today, adjust your crown, your tiara, whatever it is, and remind yourselves that you are saints. We are called to recognize this, to learn that the sainthood in all others and the sainthood in ourselves exist. Change the narrative, live in the present, tell yourself every morning, good morning, I love myself, and you are saints. Know it, you're worth it. Happy Sunday. And now we're off to Sunday school. All right. May words I say be kind and true. May love your God in all I do. May kindness stay within my
Heart, and may peace be with us while we're apart. Have fun, kids. Oh, Lucy's here. Now is the time in our service where we share with each other our joys, our sorrows, our concerns. If you have something you'd like to share, please come on up, tell us your name, and briefly tell us what you would like to share. I will light a first candle for the pagan holiday of Samhain, which is when we remember our ancestors, as we're doing today in church.
Good morning. My name is Eileen, and what I'd like to share today is it's my husband's birthday. He's 81 years old, and we've been married for 57 years, so yes.
Amazing. Please tell John happy birthday from the whole congregation, and congratulations, you guys. That is, wow. Come on, Mary.
So today for Ancestors Day, I have a picture of my brother Joe and my dog Jack, both of who have passed, yeah. And it was my brother Joe's birthday on Friday, so it's been a tough weekend.
Hi. So yesterday, we did a whole bunch of things, but I think the highlight was I got to play, the drums. I was in a band playing in Rhode Island, so that was really cool. A lot of cool characters there. And then headed to Boston after this, Somerville's, to play another gig. So it's so nice to play instruments again, especially rock band instruments, especially in Halloween costume.
You rock, Tony. Come on up, Brennan.
I just want to make an acknowledgement for Philip Orn. Oh, hi. For Philip Orn, he was like a second father figure to me growing up. He passed away a couple weeks ago to cancer. Very smart guy, good guy, yeah. So, thanks.
Oh, I don't know if there are any other deadheads out there like me and Yasmin, but Phil Lesh passed away this week. He was the bass player. That's a bummer.
I haven't been at church because I've been adjusting to a new pizza delivery job, which pays significantly more than DoorDash, and I'm no longer an independent contractor. I'm employed by Pal's Pizza more over in the North End, and so the kind of the chaos of that, I've been taking my evening meds at 8 instead of 4, and when that happens, I swing around and sleep till 2. So as things start to settle out, I've been able to start taking my evening meds earlier and then trying to get back to church.
Well, we're glad to see you, Bethany. Come on, Annie.
Good morning. So there are a few of us had a great time yesterday also at the Palestinian Festival, the first ever in Providence, over at one of the mosques. And one of the posters I bought there is God is buried under the rubble in Gaza. So if anybody wants to see it, I'll have it out at coffee hour. And it says something about the saints in Gaza on this poster too, speaking of saints. And also speaking of saints and ancestors, I also bought for our library from Penguin Books, Borderlands, in the Mexican-American story. These are the truth-telling books, Colonization of the Wampanoag story, and Exclusion in the Chinese-American story. So if anyone wants to take a look at them.
Thanks, Annie. In case anyone doesn't know, we have a social justice lending library downstairs. If you'd like to borrow any of those books, just sign them out and bring them back to share with others. So I lit 2 final candles, as is our practice here, one for all the joys and the sorrows we keep in our hearts today, and one for everyone out there that doesn't have a safe and loving and supportive place like this to share in. Now, this morning, instead of having a responsive reading where I say something and then you say something, we're going to read this together. So this was written by Bill Potter, who's the guy in the alcove over there, another one of our ancestors. He was the minister here from 1859 to 1892. So let's read this together. I trust that this house will continue to stand. Let it stand in the midst of the rush of trade and the ebb and flow of material enterprise. To each an integrity as incorruptible as the granite rocks from which it was quarried. Let it stand in its own naked solidity, severe, clear-cut against the skies, clean as in youth, to represent the candid, solid character and the fresh hopes of those who built it. Let this church be a veritable people's palace of improvement, beneficence, and delight for all sorts and conditions of men. You know what church he was talking about, my friends? This one. That's right. And when people give me a hard time for calling this the castle on the corner, well, back in 18-something, he called this the, a people's palace. So come on. Now, let us enter into this period of prayer and meditation. Let's take a little focusing breath. Spirit of life, divine mystery, that which holds all, be with us. May we recognize today the spirits of all those who have come before us in this church, who have put their heart and soul into making this a place of sanctuary and welcome for all those who seek comfort here. May we have the strength and fortitude to hold each other and support each other with love as we go through a time of deep anxiety. Bless us on this long dream that is our journey toward justice for all. As we wind our way through our lives like a labyrinth, let us remember that there are no barriers that will divert us. The path is clear. It is a matter of getting in or getting out, and all paths lead to a safe place. Guide us as we do the work to make a better world as we find our own path to joy. Deepest mystery, give us comfort and give us faith as we face a time of unsettling change. We don't know what is about to happen, but either way, we are sure there will be repercussions. Protect us from the fringe who want other voices to be silenced, and give us the courage to always speak truth to power. May the ancestors of this church and the ancestors who brought us into being bless the fight for freedom and democracy that is before us, and may their tenacious spirits guide us as we move boldly into the future. Amen, and so may it be. That was very dramatic. My gosh. And now, let's see. I am going to read you, so there are a couple copies of this. This is from the dedication booklet from 1999, October 24th, from when we dedicated our Labyrinth. Here in this quiet and beautiful spot, we have worked together to create a place of abiding peace for us all and for those who will follow us. This seven-circuit Cretan labyrinth has been laid out in a design which reaches far back into ancient times and which has appeared in many different cultures around the globe. Stone by stone, this labyrinth has come into being through the generosity of our members and friends. Because of the dedications they have made, it is holding our families' and our friends' memories and our celebrations within its circle. The path into the labyrinth leads to the center by a circuitous route, winding and doubling back on itself. But we can clearly see the center from wherever we are walking. There are no tricks or traps, and if we keep walking, we'll reach the center. Even if we step across from one path to another, we won't get lost. We'll still either walk in or walk out. This meditative pathway provides us with a calming experience, a respite from the frantic pace of our lives. Here is an oasis in a busy, rushing world, a place where for a little while attention is brought to the simple act of walking. There are no rules about how to walk or run or dance the labyrinth, and no rules about how long or how briefly to sit at the center. We may find, however, as many people have, that by following these winding paths, our fears and worries decrease, our courage to face the difficult situations is enhanced, and some of our questions are answered. May we all find peace, solace, and quiet hope here, and carry them with us when we leave. I am going to make sure every day I'm here, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 1 this week, that gate will be open for anyone who would like to come and walk the labyrinth as we approach this very anxious time. I'll make sure that is available for everyone. Now, let us sing together. Hymn number 114, 114, Forward Through the Ages.
Forward through the ages in unbroken line, move the faithful spirits at the call divine. Gifts in differing measure, hearts of one accord, manifold the service, one the sure reward. Forward through the ages in unbroken line, move the faithful spirits at the call divine. Wider grows the vision, realm of love and light. For it we must labor till our faith is sight. Prophets have to claim it, martyrs testified, poets sung its glory, heroes for it died. Forward through the ages in unbroken unbroken line. Move the faithful spirits at the call divine. Not alone we conquer, not alone we fall. In each loss or triumph, lose or triumph all. Bound by God's purpose in one living whole, move we on together to the shining goal. Forward through the ages in unbroken line, move the faithful spirits at the call divine.
Please be seated. Now is the time in our service where we ask you for your kind donations toward the many, many good works of this church. We thank you for your kind generosity. Every year, at least as long as I've been the minister at this church, we do a service dedicated to the ancestors just before Halloween. This tradition comes from my background as a pagan, but because despite all the costumes and the parties, for us, this is a really sacred time of year. It's when the veils between worlds are thin, and those who have gone before us can hear us more closely, and we can feel them a little more closely. So I take this opportunity each year to remember all the people alive and gone beyond who gave life to this church. I think it's important that everyone here knows that once you get to be part of this, once you become part of this beloved community, you will be remembered, appreciated, and celebrated for your contributions here for as long as I breathe. This year we have a special occasion because it is the 25th anniversary of the dedication of our Labyrinth. Now, the two people who were the impetus for this project, Carol Kolick, who you still see in church sometimes, and Dora Rosenfeld, who there's a picture of in your order of service. Neither of them could be here this week, but I spoke to both of them, and they send their love and celebrations along with them. But they both told me the same story about how this idea for this labyrinth began. Apparently, they had both attended an event in Marion, and on the way out, they saw each other and started talking about an interesting article they had both happened to read about labyrinths, and thought it would be a really cool idea to have one here in our garden. They wanted a place of sanctuary in a natural setting where one could find peace in the beauty of our garden, and then make it a little gift of quiet meditation in the midst of all the bustle downtown. So they took a walk out in the yard with Reverend Calloway at the time, and he agreed that the big, large, flat space that we had open in our garden would be perfect. And as for many ideas that happen at a UU church, a task force was formed. So, and of course, led by Carol and Dora. So the homework got done, the sketches were laid out, and on June 1st, 1999, the Board of Trustees okayed the installation. And then, by the end of the month, it had happened. I don't know if anything has ever happened that fast in this church. It still is blowing my mind when I read, oh, wow, by the end of June it was done? What? That's insane. But it was a huge group effort to make it happen. And I'm proud to say that I was there for the dedication of this labyrinth on October 24th, 1999. And I love telling the story of having the honor of walking the oldest person in the congregation who was at the dedication, and it was Adelaide Gardner, walking her through the labyrinth first to kind of break ground and weaving our way slowly in and out until we got to the center. And then she leaned over to me and whispered, "We don't have to do all that again to get out, do we?" I said, "No, honey, we'll take the shortcut right straight through." So I want to read you the acknowledgments from that dedication 25 years ago, because there's a lot of people on this list who aren't with us anymore, but they gave so much to this church. It's important to say their names out loud, as far as I'm concerned, in this place that we share with their lasting spirits. So I'm just going to read the acknowledgments. We are deeply grateful for everyone who has contributed to this project and helped bring it to completion. Our special appreciation is extended to the enthusiastic people who came out into the garden one bright November day in 1998 and worked to mark out a labyrinth with sticks and string. There's a picture of that in the order of service too. They included Trina Costa, Benita Guese, Jean Calloway, Bob Piper, Dave Ganananka, Lynn Fournier, Paul DeRosa, S.J. Folkrod, Joe Davis, Jackie Van Voris, Carol Kolick, Adelaide Gardner, Karen McGowan, that was me 3 names ago, Nico Turini, Helen Raposa, Dora Rosenfeld, and others. Paul DeRosa, who helped us to present a Sunday service built around the history and significance of labyrinths. The Board of Trustees for the support of this undertaking from the beginning. Richard Calloway, who encouraged the idea at its inception and suggested that we used granite cobblestones to outline the paths. Bob Piper, who located the center stone and arranged for its transportation and placement. S.J. Folkrod, who drew the first scale diagram for us to show the landscaper. Joe Davis, who created the fundraising Labyrinth poster. He came up with ingenious tools for painting the labyrinth accurately on the grass prior to its installation, and then helped one hot day with that backbreaking job. Ken Mazzelli, Eric Mall, and John Shockrow of Kenny's Landscaping in Fairhaven. I also spoke to him this week, Kenny. And he was like, 25 years, are you what? They dug the trenches and placed close to 1,000 cobblestones are in that. Helen Raposa, who raked and seeded the labyrinth paths. Lee Murray for all her help with the record keeping. Claudette Blake, whose computer skills made this booklet possible. This and all members of the Labyrinth Task Force, of course. This labyrinth could never have come into being without the ongoing support and great generosity of the members of this congregation and the Friends of First Unitarian Church. Thank you to everyone. So, Jess is also going to make a poster of all of the original donors that we can put out in the ladies' parlor so people can see it as they go out into the yard. Now, I've spent the last week plus looking over old documents and thinking about how different our church was 25 years ago and 50 years ago and 100 years ago and 200 years ago. And how proud I am every time I see the names and the documents and the reports that prove that we are a denomination run by its people. Although our ministers certainly have brought their own influences, it has always been a tenacious community. The spirit of this congregation and its lay leaders have got things done. They are the only people that have got things done. It was not ministers, it's been you folk. This hour on Sunday is not what makes a church. It's nice to come together for worship, but we are people of purpose here, and we take action that supports our principles in the real world. That's what makes a church. So Jess and I went through a few boxes of pictures this week, and I took home a bunch of them and put them into a new album that's downstairs. And it was so cool putting those pictures together, because not only was I here for a lot of that, I've been a member since 1995 or 6. I remember so many of those names and faces, but I was also really filled with how much joy and activity there has been in this church. So please take the time to look at it. There's 2 of them now. You've been seeing one of them for the past month or so, but now there's 2. So take the time to look through them. There's pictures of this sanctuary absolutely filled with people for some kind of choral performance where there was a whole organ loft full of singers and a band up here on the chancel. I was not here for that, but it looked really cool. There are pictures of an early jazz service with Bobby Green and Rick Brito and Danny Schwartz and Joe Raposa. And 3 out of 4 of those fellows are gone now. So many people who have moved away or passed away. Young families with these little kids who now have kids of their own. Oy. Some great shots of cookouts at Non-Quit with the Lunds over the years, and kids and teachers and RE and youth group having fun and learning cool things, crowded church fairs and dinners, the dedication of the elevator and the new stairs going into the parish hall. And coolest of all, there's a bunch of pictures of the cleaning of those organ pipes. That was a huge congregational project in 1994. All of that is in that photo album down there, so check it out. Looking at these pictures, going through all of these old files every year for this service, remembering all the effort that has been put into keeping this church afloat for centuries, makes me so proud that I have been able to be part of this for decades. And I'm honored to be the leader that is guiding us into the next generation of leaders. We have something so special here, folks. Something rare and beautiful. and I am going to fight with my last breath to keep it going. I just need to know you're with me, okay? And with all the people, thank you, thank you, thank you. With all the people who have worked so hard for so long to get us where we are and make this an amazing church with amazing people. We are a force to be reckoned with here at UU New Bedford, right? Yes. Yes. When I came to be the minister of this church, we agreed to a new model of shared ministry where we decided that everyone has something to add to our collective goals and that we will all use our talents for the good of this church. And we'll do it joyfully. And as I looked at all those photos, I realized this is not a new model. This is what we've always been doing. We just put a fancy new name on it, right? Minister is a verb, my friends. That was the title of the first service, the first sermon I gave in this church as your minister. Minister is a verb. And though I might have the pulpit and be able to talk to you when you need to be talked to, what we do is minister to each other with the talents that we have. That's what makes this church a place of infinite diversity and infinite combinations, a place where everyone and anyone can find sanctuary, a testament to this long history of embracing change, and a faithful promise that we are and always will be the revolutionaries and heretics that make a real difference in this world. So, I think we need to start a new Labyrinth task force. Because in case you haven't noticed, our labyrinth is quickly being eaten by the grass. Those stones are disappearing. What we need more than anything, since I remember when we installed that, is people with knees that still work. Because most of us, our knees do not work like that anymore. So you young folk, I'm looking at you. So let me know if you're interested in helping to make that project a reality, and maybe we can raise some more money for this church by selling some more dedications for the stones. Jess is making a big poster, like I said, so maybe we can continue that. All I can say is that I have such faith in this community and the people who love this church. So let's be the ancestors that the members of this church in the future will look to, the strong shoulders that they will stand on as keepers of this long dream, as we remember the strong souls that came before us. So I encourage you to go walk the labyrinth today. Think about how we can make this space sacred for generations to come, and with thanks for the generations that built the spirit of this church. May it be so, my friends. May it be so. All right, now we have a fun, different hymn that we're going to do today. It's in the teal hymnal. It's number 1020. It's called Woyaya. And I don't know if you know this song, but let's give it a try.
Honestly, the hardest part, it looks difficult written, but really it's one of those things where when you hear it, it starts to make sense.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end, because it all looks all complicated towards the end, but it's really just wo ya 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 ya, wo ya 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 ya, wo ya 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 ya. It's basically one of those kinds of things.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
We going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough. We'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Our closing words are from Leslie Takahashi. Walk the maze within your heart. Guide your steps into its questioning curves. This labyrinth is a puzzle leading you deeper into your own truths. Listen in the twists and turns. Listen in the openness within all searching. Listen. A wisdom within you calls to a wisdom beyond you, and in that dialogue lies peace. Hold fast, my brothers and sisters. We love you. Stay strong, live long and prosper. Go in peace. Walk the labyrinth.